Hello beautiful goddesses, here I am back again. And today I would love to share this video with you around the first trimester. So I am now 16 weeks pregnant and just about 3 weeks about all the, let's call it messiness that comes with the first trimester. And obviously this is personal for everyone. Everyone has their own experience. So if you feel like shit still, I'm sorry for you. If you haven't feel perfect the whole time and are glowing since the day that you're pregnant, I am super happy for you. I am talking about my experience in the knowing that it's gonna serve the people that are watching this somehow, because you may recognize something in it, you may feel empowered by it. So it is my experience, and that's what I want to share. So this is my second pregnancy, as you may know, and both my pregnancies I've been quite nauseous, but the second pregnancy, so this pregnancy, it has been completely different from the first pregnancy. So that was actually quite special to me, to get the confirmation that the soul that is coming in is a different human, a different soul, and that has a different impact on my body and my being. And I feel that's also important for you to know, right? So if you feel like shit and you are wondering, why do I feel this way? Know that yes, there can be stuff that is coming up for you that you can work on and release, but also in the journey of pregnancy, we are not only dealing with ourselves, right? We are co-creating. We are co-creating a baby, a human in our bodies. It's not just about us. It's also about the baby that's coming through. And we are recalibrating to each other, getting used to each other, and also calibrating the energies together. And that can have a different impact in any pregnancy. So it's also an invitation to be gentle with yourself, nourishing yourself, and don't judge yourself on your experience, because it is what it is. And it may suck, but everything is a phase, as you will learn with kids, or you already have learned, right? Everything is a phase, so this too shall pass. So what I really learned from this pregnancy and this first trimester is that the first trimester, for me, both of my pregnancies, was really an invitation to go within. So this pregnancy was a surprise pregnancy. So last pregnancy, it took me almost 2 years to get pregnant, and I was really looking forward to it. So the moment I saw that I was pregnant, it was like, finally. And now we discovered it at the end of December, and for the month of December, for a couple of weeks, I was already feeling quite sick. And my son Mose, he's a bit older than 1.5 years old, and he's in daycare, so he takes home all of these things, right? So I didn't think a lot about it. I just thought, okay, well, my immune system is not up to speed, so I need to take my vitamins, right? And didn't really think anything about it. But then my period was late, and I'm usually right on time. So I did a test and it was negative. And then I really started to worry. I thought, fuck, there is something wrong with me. And when I did the test, it was just to exclude pregnancy. It was not like, hey, I need to go. I think I'm pregnant, let's see whether I'm pregnant. It was more like, oh, if I need to go to the doctor, they are definitely going to ask me if I'm pregnant. So let's do the test already, right? But right after I did the test, we went on a holiday for a week. And that whole week I felt sick and still didn't get my period. So when we got home, I did another test before making an appointment at the doctor's. And guess what? This one was positive. And on the one hand, it put a lot of things into perspective, and I understood way better why I felt the way I felt. And on the other hand, it was such a surprise that this whole first trimester for me was really a period to literally recalibrate, get used to the idea, because it was the end of the year and I already was setting my intentions for the new year. And obviously a year looks completely different when you're pregnant and having a newborn than when you are just living your family life and wanting to expand your business and all the things. So I really needed to recalibrate internally, and also the plans I already made needed some adjustments to adjust to the new situation. So I really needed the first trimester to get used to the idea of being pregnant. Even though I am very grateful for this pregnancy, I could really feel that I just needed some time and space. And that's also the reason why we took the time to tell people. And that's also an interesting part of the first trimester, right? Because definitely my last pregnancy, that was the most challenging part of my pregnancy. But it's also the phase where you're not sure whether you want to tell other people, whether you want to keep it for yourself, or because there's also the biggest risk of something to go wrong, right? And intuitively I could feel like this baby is going to be okay. It's going to stay with us, even though we didn't expect it this soon. But we have chosen to only tell it to a few people in the first trimester, also for us to have the space to get used to the idea. And this is something I wanted to share, because sometimes, like, one thing that was also in my mind at the time was like, oh, but I deeply trust that this baby is here to stay, and why wouldn't I share? Because also if it goes wrong, people, it's okay if people know. I want to be open and honest about miscarriages and all the things. And yes, that's true. But at the same time, I could really feel that I myself, for my own well-being, needed some time to adjust to the idea. So that is why I chose not to share it. And so it's really important that if you are considering, will I share or not, that you really listen to yourself and your desires, and that you respect your own boundaries, even though rationally you want to be ready and open to share it with the world. Just really be considerate of yourself and your own feelings in the process. Because it is, like, even though my intuition told me it's going to be fine, it's going to be okay, because I had the experience of a miscarriage before, I wasn't like fully confident, like, oh no shit, this is gonna happen, blah blah blah. Every now and then, like, insecurity popped up, and then that was also a good feeling for me to keep it to myself. So yes, and what I experienced with the miscarriage. So with the miscarriage, when that happened, we were trying for almost half a year, I think, to get pregnant of our first baby. And I was super excited, and I already thought that trying for half a year was a really long time. So I was super excited, so I instantly signed up for everything, shouted it from the rooftops. And then I experienced this miscarriage, and people were asking me like, hey, how is your pregnancy going? How are you feeling? And then I needed to reply that I experienced a miscarriage. And like, I am very open about the experience of the miscarriage, but the obligation to tell people when you are still digesting the experience yourself, to me that was quite hard, because I was still experiencing the feeling of guilt, of shame, and all of those things. So that is also why I was more considerate this pregnancy, to give myself the space to get used to the idea and have more certainty. Because when I experienced the miscarriage, I was still in my own process, and I didn't feel like sharing it with the broad audience I shared it with at that time. So yeah, I hope that information serves you somehow, some way. So what I also wanted to share about the first trimester. So you may notice that tiredness kicks in, and for me that was also the nausea, right? I could really feel and sense that this was the time for me to go within and to recalibrate, to get used to the energy of the baby, get used to this new phase in my life, basically. So what I want to emphasize for you in your experience of your first trimester is you may see many women around you acting like they are not pregnant when they are in their first trimester or whenever. It is a phase where you, most of the times you keep it a secret, right? So you also want to pretend like there's nothing going on. But I would really love to open you up to the idea of allowing yourself to listen to your body, listen to when you're tired. At the times you have space for it, like if you're at work, then sometimes you just need to buckle up, roll up your sleeves and go for it. But like, our bodies are such divine wisdom keepers and are such powerful guides. And especially during this whole period of pregnancy, they are showing us very clearly what is for our highest, right? So taking the rest your body is asking for, and also when it comes to nutrition, like I was very nauseous, but only like crisps and the fatty food and all the bad shit. Well, and fruit. Fruit was also something I can always eat still. But also be gentle with yourself. If that is the food you can take and digest without throwing up, then take that food. And then when you are open to more food, you can see if you can switch diet again. Food is a whole other topic where I don't want to elaborate on right now. But the main message in this first trimester is a big invitation to go within and be gentle for yourself and give yourself what you need. And I'm curious to learn from you. What is your experience of the first trimester? And did this video serve you? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. And I'm going to share more about the second trimester, what it meant for me, and how you can make the most out of it. Sending you so much love. Mwah.